Ritesh Lucky is now joining us for more on that story. Ritesh, I want to begin by asking you what could be the possible motive given that Khalistan terrorists associated with Babbar Khalsa has come out and said that Kapil Sharma had in fact insulted Nihangs. And that's the reason why they were upset. They had also tried to reach out to Kapil Sharma to, coerce him into apologizing in that sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shreya, actually, these kind of tactics are being used for the last a year and a half or two by various gangsters and criminals who try to extort money from the South Asian businessmen who have been, based around major cities where the Punjabi population is quite in Canada. We have seen these incidents, but in this peculiar case, we have this not an organization, but two of its very active operatives, one being Harjeet Singh Ladi, who is identified with Babbar Khalsa International. Though the post doesn't mention the name of Babbar Khalsa International, but it does mention Harjeet Singh Ladi, who is NIA's most wanted, along with Kulbir Sidhu. So the purpose of this shootout, apparently, according to these guys, is some kind of an affront that Kapil Sharma could have done in one of his shows, but there is no wide, understanding of what that affront was, what was the context of that. There have been certain reports in the month of February this year when a Nihang organization had objected to some of the remarks. But that is February 2025, and not today. We are in July 2025. In the meantime, they try to get into touch with what they apparently say, and they claim that they have been trying to get in touch with Kapil Sharma's manager, who would ignore his calls or their calls, and this led to this. This sounds a little, away from the reality to the extent that these extortionist tactics have been adopted by criminals and gangsters in the lower mainland, in this part of Canada, in this province, British Columbia, in the last year and a half or two. But specifically referring another reason for as a cause of the shootout is really strange, and investigators are right now trying to ascertain the exact cause of this thing. And I think Kapil Sharma and his team would be able to shed more light whether they had been getting some calls which they ignored or not. So we can't actually rely on the claims that are being attributed in this post.
First time really, and we gave the details out to our viewers that celebrities have come under attack in various places in Canada. What's shocking is the inability of the government to rein in these terrorists, isn't it, Ritesh?
Yeah, this has happened because you were referring to AP Dhillon. I think his home was attacked a few months back, almost a year back in Victoria. Then this whole started when Gippy Garewal's home in West Van, if I'm not wrong, West Vancouver, got shot at. And in the meantime, there have been, umpteen number of, incidents where your criminals have, done the shooting incidents outside the businesses and the houses of people, not only the celebrities, but the, common business persons, and but the biggest thing that has happened in the recent few months is that there have been killings that have happened. Like in this city, Surrey itself, exactly a month ago, on 11th of June, a businessman Sharma was gunned down, and one of the gangsters that took the responsibility was Jeevan Fauji. And Jeevan Fauji is the same gangster who's been, wanted in some of the grenade attacks that happened in the last few months in the border states of Punjab, the Indian state of Punjab. So we have seen these things, and the targeted killings have started happening. Two killings have happened in Brampton. A few weeks back, there was a killing. A guy called MP Dhanoa was assassinated, killed, and Rohit Godara and Goldie Brad, the gang took the responsibility. But interestingly, the same gang, I mean, the same criminal, Harjeet Singh Ladi and Kulbir Singh Sidhu, the NIA's most wanted, had attacked and actually shot at MP Dhanoa's father a few weeks earlier. So their demand was for ransom in that case, in which MP Dhanoa's father would get shot at. Luckily, he survived. He's alive, but his son got killed a few weeks down the lane, and the responsibility for that killing was taken by Rohit Godara and Goldie Brad. You can see what's happening across cities in Canada, coast to coast. I'm talking about the eastern province of Ontario. And yesterday, what happened is in the western province of British Columbia, Surrey, where a few years back, Hardeep Nijjar got assassinated. And only few weeks back, another business person, a businessman, Satwinder Sharma, was gunned down. So a really sad state of affairs in Canada.
Ritesh, like you were saying, what do we know about these, these past instances and what kind of action has been taken given that the man who's claimed responsibility goes by the name of Ladi, like you've been telling us, is a Babbar Khalsa terrorist. What about, bringing others to justice in previous cases, in previous similar attacks that we've seen in Canada?
Uh, See, not much has been done, but
Right.
we can't say that Canadian authorities are not doing enough. Their law enforcement agencies are trying their level best, but the scale of this whole problem is so huge that they're not being able to cope up exactly. We have seen anti-extortion task force being made or being formalized in Peel region, which was the epicenter of this criminal organized crime gang activity. But not great results have been achieved. We have seen killings actually in the same, places, same cities where the extortion task force has been trying to do their level best. Similarly, Surrey has also seen a very, active state of, police alertness, but this has not been what it should be. Because the same businessmen who were being targeted a few years down, few years back, are being, targeted again. The president of Lakshmi Narayan Mandir in Surrey, we're talking about the same city where we have this Kapil Sharma's Caps Cafe being shot at. The president of Lakshmi Narayan Mandir, his home and his businesses have been targeted in over a few months, including the last month when this businessman got shot in Surrey. He was an Abbotsford businessman, Satwinder Sharma, and Satish Sharma, another businessman, has been targeted. So, series of these incidents, the authorities, I would say, they're trying their level best, but the problem and the quantum of this whole menace, the gangster or the organized crime activities is so huge, and with the deteriorating relations between India and Canada, there is virtually no information exchange, because it's the same gangster who are most wanted in the Indian list, NIA's list, and the same gangsters who are today claiming the responsibilities. So you see a state of affairs where two governments are not able to coordinate with each other. They're not able to share information. I've been speaking to some of the officials with the Indian law enforcement agencies. They say that we can't, talk to our counterparts in Canada, because it has to be done diplomatically. It has to be a government to government thing, and we know what the relationship between India and Canada diplomatically is. So till the time both governments and their law enforcement agencies, get together and handle this thing, because this is a transcontinental crime which we are witnessing, and we have various common codes that need to be first of all deciphered properly. Right now I can say Canadian law enforcement agencies are really struggling in order to make sense out of which gang is operating from where. So it's a huge mess out there. So I'm really worried about the challenge that the Canadian law enforcement agencies have right now.
Undoubtedly. Ritesh, I'm going to leave it there for the moment. Thanking you for joining in with those details and your perspective on an important story that we are tracking. Yet another attack in Canada. This time, this involves Kapil Sharma's cafe in Surrey in Canada.